Hey guys, welcome back to another video, and today we are going to be talking about Fairy Tail 100 Years Quest Arc, Chapter 20, and this took a left turn on me. I had no idea where this is going to come out of. I was actually expecting the worst case scenario of Igneal showing back up despite being dead, and I'm pleasantly surprised that that didn't happen at the very least. So I'm not even going to beat around the bush. The dragon that showed up is Igneal's son, Ignia. And we don't know too much about him other than the fact that he is the fire god dragon. And yeah, he seems pretty badass, honestly. He basically saves Natsu, then berates Natsu for not being able to do anything against Mercuphobia, which the water god dragon, and basically says, you're not going to be able to do anything against him in your current form. Mercuphobia is only using half of its power. There's no way you're going to be able to do anything to him. Not that Mercuphobia is like conscious really of what's going on, but Ignia basically yells at him for being stupid and weak-minded and going on a rampage. Now, in order to help Natsu take on the water god dragon, he basically sets the entire town aflame and is like, I'm not going to do anything, but if you want a little bit of extra power, here's a little thing. Eat my flames and put the fire out there for yourself. And then you'll get a little bit of a boost temporarily to fight the water god dragon. And he makes a good point of like, typically water is good against fire. We know this from Pokemon. And but his flames are a little bit more powerful and a little bit more special, so they should be able to do the trick against Mercuphobia, the water god dragon. Now, despite all of this, I'm still not convinced that Ignia is on their side in any capacity. He seems like he's maybe helping them out in this one instance, but ultimately is not going to be a friend. We still don't know the whole deal about the Pentadrakes and the God Dragons. Obviously, Natsu and his crew are technically on a mission to kill all of these dragons. Not that they probably could, but it's a little confusing of a situation. Now, the big reveal of this was the fact that Ignia is Igneal's son, and that brings a question of like, when did that happen? Natsu was with Igneal for a long time, and Igneal, like, even if technically Natsu went back in 400 years ago was not with him a long time as far as dragons go, Natsu had Igneal inside of him for all of that time going into the future. So when did Igneal, meet a lady dragon and have a egg with them? It seems, I guess dragons live a very long time, so it could have happened just before Natsu even got into Igneal's warm embrace, I guess. But it's just a weird thing to think that Igneal has an actual son, and he looks a lot like him, honestly. There's even a part where Natsu is like, he kind of smells like him, he kind of looks like Igneal. Is this Igneal? Like, I honestly thought before they revealed who it was that it would be Igneal, and it's just like, oh, somehow he has this glorious form, and he's been keeping it a secret from Natsu, and this is like the base, the original power that Natsu kind of like. Natsu's got the Dragon King magic from Igneal, but maybe this was its original form. Turned out not to be that at all. Now, one thing that I did not realize when I was originally reading the manga, the original manga, the source manga, was that the Pentadrakes were brought up before all of this. It's such a, like, small thing in the grand scheme of the original manga that, like, you can miss it right away and it doesn't make any sense, and I didn't even remember it because so much happened in the original manga. It's actually brought up that God Serena, the origin one of the holy saints or whatever their names are, or it used to be anyways, he defected to the Alvarez army. Anyways, he actually obtained his dragon slaying abilities from the Pentadrakes, and that shows. Now that we know two of the dragons that are in that grouping, you got basically a fire dragon and a water dragon, it makes a lot of sense. First of all, he goes by the name God Serena, and I wonder if he got that name from the God Dragons, the Pentadrakes. Second of all, his magic ability, so he's got he's got Lightning Dragon Slayer magic. He's got something called a Cavern Dragon Slaying magic, which is earth. He's got Purgatory Dragon Slaying magic, which is fire. He's got Sea Dragon Slaying magic, which is water. And then he's also got Gale Dragon Slaying magic, so that would be wind. I imagine that those are the 5 Pentadrake powers magic. So in the end, the 5 Pentadrakes will have fire and water, duh, and then also earth, lightning, and wind abilities, and those are the other 3 that will eventually meet down the line. I honestly can't believe that it was right in front of us this entire time, right in front of me. Maybe I'm sure other people figured it out and remembered that moment when God Serena was explaining his magic, and I'm just behind, but honestly, it came and went so quickly in the original manga that I honestly don't remember that occurrence at all. I think it's during the fight with the Wizard Saints and then Acnologia and during the Alvarez army's invasion of Ishgar, but it happened so quickly and they don't like explain it during that. Now that I'm thinking about it, I remember it, but like I don't care about God Serena. He was just a random character that they talked about a few times. He showed up a couple of times, and then he was dead. And so who cares? In the grand scheme of things, he was such a small player that it's hard to imagine that they actually are referencing that now. So this brings me to 4 questions that I have written up here. 1, if Igniel's son is a Pentadrake, a god dragon, does that mean that they were all normal dragons at some point? Or were they born special? Where did they get this strength from? Is this just from years of training and becoming really good at their magic? Or did they end up doing something specific to get this? Or again, maybe they were special to begin with. Why can they transform into humans? And is this similar to how dragon slayers can transform into dragons? Did they get a hold of some kind of human magic and that allows them to transform, at least temporarily, into humans? Or is this something special and different that, like, because they are god dragons or because they are so powerful that they can do that? Clearly, turning into dragons is a side effect of learning Dragon Slayer magic, and for some of them, it's actually detrimental to their being able to do anything. Some Dragon Slayers turned into them, and then that was just it. Some were able to master it and be able to go back and forth between their human and dragon forms, like Acnologia and the old guy that was the first guild master, Elefsaria, or Elfsaria. Either way, I'm interested to see where their magic kind of like goes, because clearly, like, elemental magic is a pretty simple thing to explain. They're using elemental magic. However, their extra abilities, like being able to turn people into fish or being able to turn into humans, and it's really specifically weird and different. And I'm really excited to see where that goes. Clearly at this point, we are, other than Mercuphobia, who is the water god dragon, again, he is the only one that's currently a good dragon at this point, as far as we know. Maybe the other 3 that we don't know yet and we haven't met will have a soft spot for humans in some capacity. But here, I am positive that Ignia will be at least a foe for a time that Natsu and the crew will have to get over. I don't think that he's going to be on their side right away. And I think he said specifically that he was not necessarily their friend. In any case, this chapter was honestly much better than I thought it would be. There was a huge bombshell in that Ignia is Ignia and he is Igniel's son. It opens up a lot of questions that need answers, honestly. If they don't answer at least one of my questions, I will be highly, highly disappointed. And some of them are pretty softball questions that can just be answered in 1 or 2 sentences. So I'm hoping that the next chapter they start explaining a little bit here and there. It's going to be the end of the fight, I imagine, with Mercuphobia. They're going to at least knock him out in some way. Natsu's going to get some god dragon slayer magic, I guess. Or at least some kind of god, fire god dragon magic in general. So that should be cool. I wonder how it'll differ from his King Dragon Slayer magic, his Fire King Dragon Slayer magic. Obviously, it'll be more powerful. Also, I wonder what Ignia thinks of Igniel. So obviously Igneel spent a large amount of time with Natsu before they got transported to the future and after. So I wonder if he has some kind of resentment towards Igneel, or whether he actually still cares about him, and that's exactly why he's helping Natsu. Why show up now as opposed to, hey, we're kind of brothers. Natsu and him are basically brothers, adopted brothers, but they are brothers, I guess. I'm sure that that'll come up as a topic of discussion for Natsu. Either way, it's really interesting. Also, I didn't mention this before, but I really like Ignia's human form. I like Mercuphobia's human form too. I think that's really cool. I like both of their forms, and I hope the designs keep it up. Both of their dragon forms are really cool too. Overall, this chapter could have been a lot worse if they had gone with the Igneel's still alive thing. I thought that they, at the very least, did better than that. So, how do I think of this chapter overall? I thought it was pretty good, honestly. I'm glad that they had a bombshell surprise for us, and it's not just, oh, continue fighting. Now they have something to talk about, and I think that'll be really awesome. And they have something to bring home, which is going to be crazy when they finally get home, but that's probably for a number of chapters away. Either way, I enjoyed this chapter. Overall, I'm looking forward to seeing more. I hope that they don't mess this up as far as Ignia being Igneel's son and all. But I enjoyed it generally. Let me know what you thought down below in the comments section. Also remember to leave a like if you enjoyed this video, and remember to subscribe and ring the bell so that you can get all kinds of notifications. I will see you guys in another video. See ya!